incredible finish in another CFL Classic and a tale of two halves in a Week 12 matchup to open up Week 12 in the Canadian Football League, or I guess it's Game 2 of Week 12. Welcome inside Game Day After Dark. This is Bonfire Sports. Zach Schnitzer will join us momentarily. My name is Darrin Bauming. What an incredible game. What an incredible game we witnessed tonight as the Bombers come away with a nail-biting 26-23 win against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They have won they've won 3 straight games, 4 straight at home, and are now just half a game, 1 point out of first place in the West Division. Who would have thought that just a month ago, even just a few weeks ago, when this team was sitting at 2-4, 2-6 on the season after that 0-4 start. Schnitzy's going to join us momentarily. We got tons of video highlights to get to. We will take a look at all of the critical plays, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between here on your Bombers postgame show. But I get this phone call last night, okay? I'm at a concert. I see that the Argos Riders game is tied. It's like a minute left. Like, what's going on here? Okay, I'm going to throw on TSN on my phone. I'm watching the game. And then I suddenly get a Twitter DM from this guy. And I'm like, I know this guy. I remember this guy. I've talked to this guy before. I've watched this guy play some ball. Like, wonder what this guy's up to. Well, he wants to know if we can stream together after the Bombers Ticats game on Friday night. I'm like, sure. Why not? Let's bring him in. Simoni Lawrence joins us on Game Day After Dark. What's up, Sim? How are you, man?
What's up, my man? What's up? I'm a little sad right now. I'm going to be completely honest. The only reason I asked to be on this show because I had a twinkling feeling that we're going to upset the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tonight, man.
You nearly did. You nearly did, Sim. Mm-hmm. For those of you out there that aren't familiar with this young man to my left and on the right side of your screen, Simoni Lawrence, I lost track of how many years you were playing in the league. I do know this. You are the Hamilton Tiger Cats all-time leading tackler. You have the single game record with 17 tackles in one game. You are a 4-time league all-star, 6-time division all-star. I think I got that right. One thing I know for sure, you're going to be in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame just down the road from where you are right now. You are in Hamilton or kind of in that GTA area, and you're still doing some work with the Ticats, yes?
Of course. We're just pushing the brand forward in every shape and fashion, going around spreading the gospel, talking about the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And man, can I say something about Zach really quick?
Yeah.
This is what I mean about the quarterback's job. I've been trying to explain like how stats don't really mean anything, especially at the quarterback position. It's about winning and losing. Zach Collaros came out here tonight and he stunk it up for a while. But when it was time to play football, he won the game for his team. So like, congratulations to Zach. Because it's exciting and fun to watch, it's fun to watch. So congratulations to you guys for sure.
Yeah, big win for Winnipeg. Tough year in the first year since you announced your retirement as a player and a longtime member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Simoni. But yeah, Zach Collaros was looking pretty good in the first half. Levi Mitchell, not so much. What did he have? 3 completions in the first half. Winnipeg's defense, that dark side defense they like to call themselves. I know you're familiar with that nickname, Willie J and all those guys. But in the second half, Levi went from 3 completions and less than 100 yards, and I think most of it was Tim White. In the second half, it was touchdown drive after touchdown drive. Whatever Scott Milanovic had cooking up at the half, making those adjustments, whatever, it sure worked.
It for sure worked. It worked until it didn't work, right? And coming out of halftime, I think we did a great job just because we had more time of possession. If you look at it, I think Levi only threw to like 8 passes in the first half to Zach's like 19 passes or something like that. So we for sure just got more reps to get an opportunity to make a play.
Yeah.
And that's why we got our couple of touchdowns for sure. And that guy, what do you think about Greg Bell? What do you think about Greg Bell?
Like, I mean, for a first-year guy, Sim, he looks dang good. You know, to see James Butler go down, nobody wants to see that. But we know he's the big money tailback. He's the bell cow, the workhorse, however you want to describe it. Big free agent signing a couple years ago, coming over from the BC Lions after 2 outstanding years there. And I mean, when you get an opportunity, when opportunity knocks, and you were a young player too one day, Sam, remember, when you got that opportunity after being traded from Edmonton to Hamilton and then getting that shot and showing what you can do, that's, you know, seizing the day, seizing that opportunity. Greg Bell's been really, really good in the, you know, little bit we've seen of him. It's turning into a little bit more than a little bit. We've seen a lot of him now. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's dynamic for sure. My dream is to see him and Butler. I need a BB combination. Butler and Bell. Butler brings the bell? Come on, man. Get your T-shirts ready.
Get your T-shirts ready. We'll have to send you one of these.
Yeah, bro. I'm mad I'm not geared up. Yeah, I would have for sure wore that. And the fit, it looks nice, yo. We'll go.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and you know what? I'll mention that. Everybody likes these hats. People have been bugging me. You'll see it in the live chat saying, where are the Bonfire hats? Where are the I want a Bonfire hat. Oh, they're coming. Labor Day, Winnipeg in Regina. I'm going on the bus, the 1930 crew. There might even be a spot or two left. You can email them at the 1930crew@gmail.com. You can find them on Instagram as well, Twitter, the 1930 crew. I'm going to have them on the bus. I'm going to have them at a special price on the bus. So you're going to get one of these beauty. They're like a flex fit with the Velcro at the back. Nice new logos.
Velcro on the back. That's professional. I might, you remember how we first met in Winnipeg in 2015. I could for sure use one of those on a night out or something, right? Like,
you can loosen it, and you're feeling a little loose later on. Yeah. Hey, Simoni, great to have you here on the Postgame. I'm really looking forward to this. Zach Schnitzer will join us momentarily. Of course, the blue and gold bleeding Bombers fan who joins me every single postgame, every single game here on Bonfire Sports. He's going to join us in just a few minutes. We're going to get through all of these highlights. I clipped a ton tonight. Simoni, I would love to get your keen eye on what you saw in some of these plays. And then we're going to get into WALBY'S Warrior, Westwood's Wide to the Right, the Happy Honker Award, the Bonfire Burning Point, and we'll hand over our game balls. So it's not that TSN thing everybody talks about. It's the Bonfire Burning Point. Simoni, do you have a moment in this game, your Bonfire Burning Point, where the tables turned and Winnipeg able to come away with the victory?
Yeah, it was for sure when they got the final drive. whenever you get the opportunity as a quarterback, such as like a Zach Collaros, Bo Levi, I'll even throw in there. Whenever they get the opportunity to right their wrongs, you're in trouble. And Zach had the opportunity at the end of the game to right his wrongs. He's a Hall of Famer. He's been probably the best quarterback in the 5 years, and he has the opportunity to right his wrongs. That's exactly what he did. Drove the ball down and scored a touchdown. Just him having the ball in his hands with time on the clock, that's when I seen Bonfire. What is it called again? One more time?
The Bonfire Burning Point.
The Bonfire Burning Point was when Zach had the ball with time on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's his legacy. He's a legendary quarterback for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and you guys are extremely blessed to have somebody like Zach. Not even just on the field, like he's one of those guys in the locker room where he gets to it as well.
It's so funny you say that, Simoni. Just a few weeks ago, Winnipeg was 2-6, looking at a back-to-back against the all-powerful BC Lions. VA, in my opinion, still probably the MOP frontrunner right now, in a really wide open year for that award. Maybe Roland Milligan can get a little love for it. Maybe a little Dietrich Nichols. We'll see. I like getting the defenders a little bit of love. I know you know that. But Zach Collaros was being called out by fans saying that Mike O'Shea and Kyle Walters made the wrong decision to move on from Drew Brown, trading him to Ottawa, letting him sign that new contract, and keeping Zach Collaros. when there's a Grey Cup in Winnipeg in like 14, 15 months from now. Crazy, right?
That's absolutely nuts. But that's the thing about being great. You know, me and Zach share something similar, and it's not Grey Cups. It's the fact of being great. When you operate at such a high level, like guys like Zach, the only place you can go is down because the fans only see you as King Tut, top of the hill. So any little slip off of the hill, it looks magnified because you've been so great to these fans, and all these fans know you as King Zach. You know, so now he's like a little slip, and they're like, what's going on? We should have traded. Zach did this. Nah, that's Zach Collaros, guys, future Hall of Famer. You're going to look back in the history books when you're older and think, you know, look at us. We're over here wishing for a Grey Cup, you know, and that guy brought you guys to the last, 5? So, you know, you guys should definitely appreciate Zach. Go get some Zach Collaros jerseys for sure. Yeah.
You know, he threw 3 interceptions tonight. We'll take a look at those. I got those to look at. We'll get into the those video highlights, and we'll look at the numbers and everything. But Collaros 50%. But when they needed him to make something happen, he did. And I'm going to play that last possession almost in its entirety here on the postgame show. But right now, it's important we do this. For those of you out there, you've been waiting. Let's bring him in. He was at the Madhouse on Matheson tonight. Zach Schnitzer, he's got his Blue Bombers chain on. He's geared up. He's ready to go. So I got the Ticats lifer on my right. I got the Blue Bomber bleeding blue and gold on my left. I feel like I'm a little tight here, guys. I don't know how to feel. I'm out of my element. Where's the press box? That's where I belong. How are you, Schnitzy?
DB and Simoni. Oh, what an honor. I mean, DB, you got 2 surefire Hall of Famers here. Me and broadcasting, Simoni in the CFL. Simoni, I still remember. I mean, what a huge honor to be here with, of course, you, Darrin, but also Simoni Lawrence, surefire Hall of Famer, first ballot. I still remember September 2019, my friend, when you set the CFL record for tackles. We had Chris Strevler starting. And he's not an easy guy to bring down. And a huge honor, man. I'm a huge fan, and I'm so glad to be here with you, Simoni. I'm sorry about the Ticats. They just seem to find ways to lose. I would be absolutely devastated if I was a Ticats fan. My father-in-law and his buddy left the game after that 3rd interception. And he's like, we're in the car. We are in the car. And I'm like, come on, you got to stay till the end of the game. Really?
Oh,
and then they
came jingling their keys at you. Jingling your keys.
What a finish. Oh, my God. What a game. So much to get to, gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pleasure to meet you as well, Schultz. Thank you for the compliments, man. Much appreciated.
Well-deserved.
Well-deserved indeed. Schnitzy, we were already talking about our bonfire burning point. We got Simoni's moment when he felt the game turned. I would love to get your fresh take on this. Wherever your jingling keys might have been late in the game.
Well, I didn't have jingling keys because I didn't have to drive. Thank goodness. Although I only had one Coors. That's it. But
Coors Light is always great drink to have. You know,
man, we're gonna have to give him a sponsorship. Send a box over. Send a box over.
We got you. We make it happen.
I told you I want a coffee sponsor. I don't even need a beer sponsor. I'm more of a coffee snob than a beer snob. I mean, what's the burning point on a game like this? It's the Kenny Lawler 10-yard touchdown. I mean, what a crazy roller coaster of emotions. Who was it who had the catch on we thought we had the Ontario Wilson had the catch on the 1-yard line. And then they said he dropped it like 15 seconds later, where the wind went out of the sails of the crowd. And then, like, listen, and I was listening as I was coming home, and Simoni, I think you nailed it. Stats don't matter for quarterbacks. And O'Shea echoed that many years ago. One of my favorite quotes by O'Shea, he said, the quarterback's job is to win. Right? And Zach Collaros.
Preacher.
Right? Zach Collaros threw 3 interceptions. Now, I'd have to watch them again. And I'd love to hear your take, gentlemen, on the 3 interceptions. But Zach did not look good tonight.
No.
Until he looked good.
Until the last drive of the game, what does he do? Typical Zach Collaros, snap and clear, like he likes to say, right? Just play the next play.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically wins it on a walk-off touchdown pass to Lawler with 19 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Like, just the mental fortitude to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's my burning point. That last touchdown. That's a layup for me.
To catch people up, Zach Collaros, pretty good in the first half, not so good in the second half. He finishes 50% passing, 18 of 36, 177 yards. That touchdown when it mattered to Kenny Lawler, but 3 picks. For the first time this season, he throws 3 picks, and really none of them were questionable ones where it's a tip ball or something of that nature. So obviously a tough night for him as we look at the offensive stats for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Brady Oliveira averaging 6.7 yards per carry. 3 times he picked up runs of 10 plus yards as he goes 18 for 120 and then adds in 1 catch for 8 yards as well. Ontario Wilson, what a rookie season he's having. 6 catches on 10 targets, 72 yards to lead the way for the Blue Bombers. Dembski with 45 on 5 catches. And then really everybody else just had a couple or 1. But going to Dembski late was a real, for me, a really gutsy deep shot late. Sim, as a defender, for a long time in this league, what did you see from Winnipeg when teams are taking those deep shots, when really all they need to do is move the chains and try to keep possession, kill some clock, but they do take that deep shot?
Are you talking about our offense right now, or are you talking about Winnipeg's?
Like if you're defending against Winnipeg's offense and they take that deep shot.
Oh, you're expecting crickets.
What?
His cord.
Oh, his cord. I thought he smacked his knee or something like that.
The amount of times I've done that. Oh my God.
My bad team. Back a little bit. Nah, you're expecting that, especially when the game's still close and the momentum's so close. For that whole game, it felt like the momentum was so close together and teams were still fighting. Even when Winnipeg was up, it still felt like Ticats had momentum. When Ticats was up, it felt like Winnipeg had momentum. So that's why I think the shots were being taken, just so they can solidify the momentum of the game. So I'm expecting that, just because you can feel the game and the energy of the game.
Yeah, I feel that. Bo Levi seemed to really turn things around in the second half. Schnitzy, Simoni and I were talking about how it really was a tale of 2 halves. 3 completions in the first half for Bo Levi, less than 100 yards of net offense, most of it to Tim White. And then in the second half, scoring drive after scoring drive, some of those coming a field goal from 50 yards from Mark Leggio following the Richard Leonard interception, the second of the game off the arm of Zach Collaros to bring them to Ticats to within 3. They just seemed to find offensive punch when they needed it.
Absolutely. I actually credit Hamilton big time. And I wouldn't have been shocked if Hamilton had won this game because of Hamilton's prowess offensively this season. They haven't been stinking it up by any means. Now, a lot of the yards have come in garbage time, but Hamilton's offense is, especially Bo, is yardage wise, has been quite prolific. And the thing that I really liked what Hamilton did is they probably looked at the stats like I did and realized that on average, Winnipeg gives up the most yards rushing in the CFL. They're an incredible defense. We're all talking about the secondary, but we give up a lot of rushing yards. Then you throw in the fact that our quarterback on the middle, Adam Bighill, is out. So rush the ball. And what they did that Winnipeg couldn't do for most of the game until 19 seconds left, guys, is they capitalized in the red zone. Hamilton rushed the ball, and Greg Bell had 2 red zone touchdowns. And I thought that was a great way to cap off the few drives they had, right? And they were able to find Tim White, who was just gashing us. I believe White finished with how many yards? White finished with, I don't know, actually. I looked it up before, but
I think I got it here. So White finished with 134 yards, 7 catches. Yeah.
How many on the ground and the 31-yard run as well too, huh? Yeah.
Oh, did he? Yeah, you're right.
Nice
yeah, that
reverse.
31-yard run.
What was that like? That was like a reverse or something.
Yeah, it was a reverse for like 31. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big play. So I thought
yeah.
I thought Hamilton on offense was good, and I think it was a little bit. If you look at sort of what Winnipeg was doing on defense, I didn't see a lot of pressure from that Winnipeg front four. The O line Hamilton seemed to be keeping them on off Bo's shoulders, right? And I thought Hamilton's O line did pretty well, because aside from that Willie Jefferson knockdown, I didn't see Bo touched. I saw him have 3-4 seconds in the pocket. He had time for his receivers to get open.
Like Simoni clapping, rightfully so, because everybody knows how dangerous and intimidating this Blue Bombers defensive front can be, especially since the return to health for Tywin Garbett and for Celestin Haba. Willie Jefferson, I wouldn't say was in the face of Bo Levi too much today. He did get home one time and had a pass knockdown. The thing that, he has a real.
He's going to do that.
He's going to do that, right? It's almost like a one-off in the game. So, but overall, I think it was almost the opposite of what we were expecting. Maybe Simoni, would love your take on this. When first, I'll say, hoping for the absolute best for Stanley Bryant. Very scary moment early in the game. If you want to see some clips of that, you can check out my Twitter at Darrin Bauming, where, stretchered off the field, had an IV. He is conscious. He was, drinking water and spitting it out. And it really does look like heat exhaustion, but very scary moment. The Blue Bombers say that he is stable and in good spirits in hospital. All of our thoughts are with him. Stanley is maybe the greatest offensive lineman, American-born, in the CFL ever. And on top of that, or maybe more importantly, one of the great people. I've got so much respect for Stanley Bryant. So as a man, as a person, to him and his family, hoping the best for him. And then to see Gabe Wallace go down, the rookie who stepped in when Stanley went out, and he gets his knee kind of crumpled up under Zach Collaros, and he needed to be carted off the field as well. So Scott Milanovic, who I know didn't coach you, right, Simoni? Didn't coach you.
No.
Yeah, but new this year, as you've retired now, and he told John Liu at halftime on the broadcast, down a couple of linemen, should that help your defense? And he just simply said, I hope so. It should. And it did. We saw a Ticats defense that really made things difficult on Collaros and on some of those young guys needing to step up.
Yeah, those you talked about those offensive linemen, man, and just like we start with Beard in the middle. We got Woodmansky at right guard. He's a beast. Revenberg at our left guard. He's a beast. And the thing that shocks me is how up to speed these guys are. I was so high on these two tackles in camp, all of camp, from the beginning of time. I felt like these guys have worked extremely hard to earn and start a job. Both of these guys are rookies, Barrow and Bortner, both first-year players, and are playing at an all-star level. Like, if you just watch the tape, it's not like I'm used to our quarterbacks getting smacked around. This year, man, they've been able to chill back there, go to the Bahamas, get the ball off. You got Big Willie J chasing you, and you didn't touch Bo Levi all night. You know what I'm saying? So that's big time. So, like, I take a lot out this game just because I do feel like Winnipeg is a very high value team where they have a lot of players all over the board where they're going to test you and see how good your players really are. And I felt like one thing I got from this game was our offensive line stood up. They said, hey, it's not going to be us. If it's big boy football, let's play big boy football. And that's another reason I really want to see this Butler and Bell combination. Find a way and put both of those backs in the game. That would be so dynamic. And let these boys get rewarded and run the ball a little more as well.
Yeah. Bo Levi had a first half to forget, but definitely turned things around in the second half. He too, similar to Zach Collaros, finished 50% passing, 14 of 28, 220 yards, no T's, no INTs, and a pretty, after a bad first half, able to get his quarterback efficiency rating.
You can win with that.
Yeah, you can win with that. And I think when the Ticats signed Bo Levi Mitchell, a lot of people had him written off. They said, okay, the arm injury, the shoulder, he can't throw, he doesn't have the strength, and twilight of his career, yada yada, all these things, right? Similar to what they were saying about Zach Collaros like a month ago. And we know he can win. We know he has that juice, right? He has got that confidence, that cockiness, that healthy ego that you need in a quarterback to lead a team. And he has had his ups and downs last season, this season, being pulled, as recently as last week. And then Taylor Powell, hoping he is okay as well, suffering an injury last week. But Bo back in there. And I think he did everything that Scott Milanovic and his teammates would need him or hope for him to do to win. He put them in position, and Winnipeg just found a way to kind of squeak out the back door and let the Sellout Crowd at the Madhouse on Matheson, as I like to call it, Princess Auto Stadium, all those people going home happy.
Yo, Bo did a good job, just because the big thing with our team right now is turnovers. And this game just showed us that if we limit the turnovers and penalties, we can play football with everybody. But when we have, like last week, 11 penalties for over 100 yards and 5 turnovers, that's what the score is going to look like. And that's just simple math, yo. It's always the turnover ratio when it comes to football. And, I think we did a great job not turning the ball over, and just people need to be able to confirm things with validity. A coach needs to be like, you did this week, and look what happened, and look what should have happened, and you did that last week, and look, you got your ass kicked. And now, so you can confirm with validity. There's a lot to get good to take from this game going into the biggest game of the year, Labor Day Classic.
Yeah.
Baby.
Simoni, I love how you naturally segued to that, because it's going to be a home and home on the 401, the Queens, whatever they call it. What is it? The Ballard Trophy you guys play for?
Yeah, we take the Ballard Trophy. Yeah, that's
right.
What we take.
Yeah. And he was like the curmudgeonly owner and GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs, wasn't he?
Yeah, so sometimes we don't tell people what we do with the Ballard Trophy, but we take it.
For real.
Just joking. Much respect, of course.
I wouldn't blame you.
Just joking, of course. But it's black and gold over here, baby.
Well, and there'd probably be a good debate about what's a better rivalry, the Argos and the Ticats, or the Bombers and the Rough Riders, or is it the Elks and the Stampeders, right? You could probably even throw in Montreal, BC, as they traditionally play those games. But
nah, Darrin, you can't throw in Montreal, BC. Yeah. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to spread the love a little bit.
I see what you're trying to do, but Montreal, BC, y'all go take to beach. Y'all don't got the kind of competitive these other rivalry games have. And the Elks in Calgary, I remember they used to go at it back in the day. Back in the day, Elks and Calgary, that used to be a lit rivalry. But then I love me some Winnipeg and freaking Saskatchewan. I love watching those snow games at the end of the season. Everybody hates each other. They're leaning on each other. Oliveira's popping up. They're twisting them up a little extra. It's a good game, but nothing beats the Labor Day Classic. Hamilton Tiger Cats versus the Toronto Argonauts. We split each other about 45 minutes down the highway. Sometimes we might end up at the same places with the guys that we're playing. Sometimes somebody might have dated a girl that they dated as well. It's just too close to home. Like we are very close. And a lot of people know each other too. And like a lot of things might get shed, and you see each other all the time. And the nastiness of the game is so, especially in Hamilton. We start pregame before the Labor Day game at 7 a.m. Everything's packed in Hamilton. Everything's packed. One of the biggest business days, of course, brought to you by Hamilton Sports Group. But it's just the atmosphere that you cannot beat. Like, games in Hamilton, I got to invite you guys down, and I want to host you in a game in Hamilton on Labor Day. It's nowhere other. You go, it's like college game day live, during the freaking whole weeks. You know, it's must see television, and the games are always exciting.
I'll give you that, Simoni, and thank you for the invite. But generally busy those weekends. Maybe someday. I would love that. But this is what I'll argue. So I like how you mentioned that, like, oh, you know, like a Ticats player might be dating the ex of an Argos player because you're in kind of that same area. But to me, if you are a Hamiltonian or you are a Torontonian, I think those are kind of different worlds. From what I have gleaned in talking to people, I got family in Southern Ontario, that sort of thing. But one of the points of pride of the Bombers Rough Riders rivalry is that Saskatchewan and Manitoba, whether you're from Regina or Saskatoon, or you're from Winnipeg, or you're from the rural areas, at the core of it all, we are the same people. But there's this one element. It's not the NHL. It's not farming. It's not, something else. It's football, and it's the green and white and the blue and gold and the fun hatred, the fun rivalry you can have between each other. I think is what makes it special. It's the same people at the core, but those debates will be great. Obviously, an interprovincial rivalry between the Stamps and the Elks, and I'm sure everyone in the live chat enjoying giving me the gears for mentioning BC, Ottawa, BC, Montreal. That's all right.
Yo, I love your statement about you guys all being from one place, so it's like fun. It's fun rivalry. But like where I'm from, like Philadelphia, like we actually like to hate people. In Hamilton, I feel like we really hate them. And you know
Philly
that
fans are nuts.
Yo, so it drives the competition all the way up. It's hard to fight with your brother and cousins and stuff. You know, you gotta go to Thanksgiving and sit at the table later. I'll never gotta see these guys again in my life.
Right. Well, I remember talking, having a long conversation with Rashid Bailey, who's from the Philadelphia area, about the link, right? Lincoln Financial Field and the Eagles, and the Randall Cunningham days, and like how crazy it is in that. Like if you go into that stadium in Philly with like a Cowboys jersey, you may not come out. You may not come out. If you're wearing a Steelers jersey, you better have a big crew with you.
Yeah, they threw snowballs at Santa Claus. You remember that game?
Yeah.
Yo, I grew up I love shout out to 610 WIP, Howard Eskin and them boys. Like, man, I grew up loving that stuff in Philadelphia for sure.
But I've heard stories of going to Labor, and I'm going to Labor Day next weekend. It's good. I've never been, Simoni.
Yes. Wait, you coming up this side? This side or out there?
I'm going to take you up on that next year. This year, I'm going. Sorry, I should have been more clear. I'm going to Saskatchewan. I've never been to Regina for the Labor Day Classic in all my years. Ooh. But I've heard of buddies of mine and family members who have gone, and there can be fisticuffs there between Bombers. There can be fisticuffs, and I hope the Bombers just drop a deuce in the toilet of the Queen City Stadium because it's shaped like a toilet bowl. Perfect. It's perfect. I just went way over the line. Simoni's here. I'm getting all excited.
Man, you're gonna get me in trouble with the Saskatchewan fans, man. Oh well, if it looks like a toilet, it looks like a toilet.
Well, Simoni, if that hasn't happened already, right? I don't need to state the obvious. But
who was the NFL receiver who pretended to moon? Was that Randy Moss? Oh my God!
Did the little wiggle on the goalpost.
But I got a question for you though. What's your attire going into a hostile Saskatchewan crowd? Like, what are you wearing, yo? What are you putting on? Are you going to go incognito and wear bonfire gear? Or are you going to put that blue stuff? What's going on? How's your heart?
Oh, dude, I have to wear my 48 jersey in honor of my late father, so I got to wear that. I got to wear the chain because it's ridiculously overpriced. This cost me $39.95.
We would never do that to you in Hamilton. I got to send you an H. We got the same one with an H on it at the Ticats store.
Right.
Top of the top, bro. And I get you a little discount, bro. I never make you pay full price.
Okay, listen. If you send that to me, I'll wear it.
And you wear it to Labor Day?
Sure.
You wear it till bet. We're on that tomorrow. We're on that tomorrow.
Make a call.
There you go.
Let me get your address. Make sure you can send me his address, Mom.
Yeah, I'll link you guys up. I'll link you guys
for
up.
Sure.
But you know what? In terms of like I wear the hat, I wear the chain, I'll wear the jersey. But in terms of what I wear below the waist, that's up for debate. Maybe I should get some of those 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙛𝙬 pants, those blue and gold pants with like I don't know how you describe it. You know what I mean? The 𝘎𝙤𝙧
Yeah, it's like the colored tiger stripe.
Yeah. I think I need to get some of those.
You want some Bonfire 𝘎𝙤𝙧 pants? See, those I would make for everybody and send them across the country. Simoni, you'd probably have pair number one in that. Speaking of saying things that are going over the line, Simoni, what market has the mouthiest fans that are like behind the bench giving it to you? Because I know number 21 gets it from the fans.
All right. So Montreal, they just ring the bells. Man. Yo, you want to know the absolute truth? It's Winnipeg. It's Winnipeg because they have their section right behind the bench, and the defensive bench of where we sit, you got this guy with shoulder pads on and spikes, and then all his crew, they pick one person to mess with, right? And they just go all day. I remember I was in Winnipeg. I was on like my 13th tackle, and they were still telling me I sucked. I was like, you suck, somebody, you suck. And then when I finally broke the record and got 17, they started bowing. So I was like, okay, Winnipeg, at least you guys respect greatness a little bit. And then I would say Saskatchewan fans are mouthy, but they're only mouthy for a little bit, because my last game in Saskatchewan, I think I had like 7 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, and then the fans just left. They just left the stadium. I was like, where are all the Saskatchewan fans going? Yeah, so I would give it to Winnipeg, just because you guys played your respect at the end.
Yeah, see, that's why I call it the Madhouse. It's on Chancellor Matheson Road. It's the Madhouse on Matheson. I know there's another one in Chicago.
Princess Arena.
Pardon me?
What is it called? The Princess Auto
Stadium.
Princess Auto Stadium. Get it right. Princess Auto Stadium.
Yeah.
Simoni, I love that. I love that you gave a shout out to Winnipeg there. And what you're talking about is Section 107, my friend. Okay. And you're talking about the Legion of Blue with the shoulder pads on. And you're talking about Sign Guy, or the man formerly known as Sign Guy. And Sign Guy once told me a story, and the guy has absolute crazy pipes, but he like in terms of his voice. But they were playing we were playing Montreal, and he told me a story where SJ Green was lighting us up, and he had his buddy back in Winkler, a small town outside of Winnipeg, do a little bit of research on SJ Green to get inside his kitchen. And it went way over the line, and he kept shouting the same thing about SJ Green's wife or whoever, girlfriend, whoever it was. He kept going and going, and SJ Green just he just lost it on him, and he had to be held back by his teammates. And sure enough, SJ Green dropped a sure touchdown, and the Bombers won. And it goes to show you why the CFL is amazing, and why the fans really can impact the game. Like, they really can. And you're talking about it right there, Simoni. I love it. I just love the CFL. I love our super fans, Legion of Blue, Sign Guy, Bomber Woman I saw tonight, Tina. There's so many of them.
Yeah, I do love your culture over there in Winnipeg. And look at, like, y'all got some real fans too, like y'all fans. I tell people all the time, I love fans whether they hate Simoni or love Simoni, because a fan ain't nothing but a fanatic. You know what I'm saying? I expect the wild stuff from the fans. I expect Saskatchewan fans when I get there to say, F you, Simoni, I hate you. You're a dirty player. This is what I live for. I come, what I'm saying? So it's like, as long as the game is growing and we're keeping it fun and we're all going through life together, but like, everybody got to play a role. I got to play the superstar role sometimes, but y'all got to play
the villain sometimes.
But at the end of the day, when you're a leader on your team, you got to be whoever you got to be, Right. Like, that's just the rules of engagement, especially when you're the big dog. So it's like, it's nothing. You just rub it off. But I love Winnipeg fans. Like, I like Winnipeg fans the most during Labor Day weekend because y'all be getting on Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
You know what? You know it, Simoni.
You're
going to be cheering for us on Labor Day, right, buddy?
Oh, no. I'm cheering for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. Hold on. Let me get my jersey.
Okay.
Hold on. I got to give a big shout out to my big dog, Moscow, man. He's sitting in my podcast room with me right now.
Nice.
One of the greatest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hamilton
Pro wrestler.
Legend, pro wrestler, you know. Man, this is my guy. He used to say that. Let me tell y'all a cool story about the legend Moscow real quick. So when he used to come to our practice with all his buddies and stuff, and I was like, dang, let me go talk to the legend. And then I shook his hand, and he just grabbed me. And I was like, oh, snap. Like, he was still strong, too. He just grabbed me and pulled me in. He's like, you're the toughest player I ever seen. And, ever since then, like, man, sometimes I just sleep with this jersey over me and stuff, like, during the season, and just rub it all on me, and you know what I mean? And now, look, life is amazing. Shout out to Moscow, yo.
Love that. Angela Mosca, Joe Cap, the famous,
I
don't like that. I want a rematch.
Oh, man. Like, swinging the cane, nasty.
Yeah. I like that.
Oh, man. Hey, Simoni, while we're talking about, like, everybody having their role, this league, the beauty of it, the rivalry, the players, the fans, the coaches, the culture, all of it. Would love to get your perspective before we let you go, because you're very generous with your time. Thank you. And I sure hope we can do this again.
Absolutely.
The Rouge. Should I just toss it up to you like that and just say the Rouge? What did you think about one of the most controversial walk-off scoring plays in CFL history? First time we've seen it in 4 years, with 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙩𝙨 missing from 40 yards, but giving the Toronto Argonauts a victory and handing the Rough Riders another loss.
Well, I know everybody in Winnipeg is happy for the Rouge. Because, you came out and got the W, and it helps you guys in the standings in a team that you dislike. But to be completely honest, I don't think that you should ever go on the football field to practice bad habits. I'm not sure if he missed it on purpose or what, but I'm more of a, let's just punt it out. Let's just punt the ball out, or set a rule where you can't miss a field goal in like the last 3 minutes on purpose and win the game. That's how I feel about it. I just don't like to see low-level stuff getting you places in life. No, that's not a good field goal, but I mean, it's a rule in Canada, like where I'm from in Philadelphia, they would have grabbed the football, and
Americans would lose their mind. Be throwing TVs around.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I think we need to take a Canadian poll if they like it or not, because hey, look, I'm from Philadelphia. I ain't got no say in this. This is Canadian sports, y'all know what y'all love to watch, so y'all tell me what you want, because either way we gonna win, and we gonna find a way to win and play with the rules, because we're all playing with the same rules at the end of the day.
You are playing with the same rules. The way I look at it, and I had a great debate with Derek Taylor and Doug Brown, of course, DT, the play-by-play voice of the Blue Bombers on CJOB. Doug Brown, Hall of Famer, Canadian-born star, great in this league for the Blue Bombers as a D lineman. And my argument against the two of them, they want the rule abolished, or maybe I'm open to, in the final 3 minutes or the final 1 minute. I get that. But for me, and it comes down to the core element of the game of football. What is the core element of football? It is about moving the ball into enemy territory. Okay. And for those that say you're rewarding failure by giving a point for a missed field goal, you could argue the same thing, that you're rewarding failure by giving a team an opportunity to kick a field goal, kick the ball through these posts. What's that? Score a touchdown if you want to score. And if you can't score a touchdown because you run out of downs, there's only 3, or your field position's crummy and you can't hit on a deep shot, well, tough. That's the way it is. 1 point is 1 point, whether it's the first, the second, the third, or the fourth quarter, the first minute, or the final minute. And Saskatchewan blundered terribly, both the game clock and field position late in that game, and it gave Toronto the opportunity to take advantage of it with a play that I understand people don't like, but it's 1 point. It's not 3. It's not 6 or 7. It's a single point. It's 1/3 of a field goal. It's 1/6 of an unconverted touchdown. It's 1 point in a game that like 40 points is a low scoring game, like 2019, whatever. That's a low scoring game in the CFL. 1 point, a missed convert, right? If you're gonna have a problem with that single point, that's the last thing I'll say. If you're gonna have a problem with the single point, then why are you giving a team 2 points for a safety? It's because the core fundamental principle of football is field position. End of rant.
That's a hell of an argument, and it's hard to argue against that. But I will say this: my Al Pacino speech. Football's a game of inches. And, 1 point sounds like 1 point, but football is a game of inches. And that 1 point means a lot. Everything adds up in football, especially points. And when you're thinking about points, you can't just give people free points for making mistakes. And that's the only argument. Field position, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You can argue that the game is about field position. No, the game is about scoring points, to be completely honest. So if you're not scoring points, nobody's winning the game. That's so right. If you're missing the field goal and you're getting 1 point, you're rewarding bad behavior still at the end of the day, because the game is to use your effort. The kickers that make and miss field goals, we know how bad we get on them to make it through for the 3 points. So, and like, that's a hard job. You see how hard those guys work. And then you got the receipt and you got the quarterback go get in the end zone. Those are hard working points. Now you're sitting here and telling me, look, it's all good, Joe. I understand that you didn't get it through the goalpost or anything, but we're still going to reward you. Where I went to University of Minnesota, we call that Minnesota nice, Like, that's just Minnesota nice. Like, it's just Minnesota nice. Like, a punt, I like the punt. Look at this legendary stuff right here, man. The punt, I like the punt. The punt is a play now because everybody knows what's going on. You're over here kicking the ball in the left corner of the end zone with your field goal team in just to get 1 point? Absolutely not. But, yeah, that's my rant.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let me weigh in on your DB.
Of course.
I absolutely love it. I love every minute of the single point winning a game. And it's not like it happens very often. The last time it happened was in Toronto, where Chris Rainey stepped on the back goal line, right? And the Lions won. It was like 18-17. It doesn't happen very often. If it was happening every few weeks, and this was like, come on, what's going on here? I get it, but I don't think it's rewarding failure. 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙯, as far as I could see, who missed the field goal last night and still won. Thank God, because now we're 1 point back of the Riders. This is amazing, right? If you would have told me at 0-4 we'd be 1 point back of the Riders going into the Labor Day Banjo Bowl, best games of the year, come on. But you know what? 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙯 focused on doing one thing in that kick, and that was hammering it as hard as he could. He didn't care if he made the field goal.
I disagree.
I think he was.
Yeah, I'll tell you this.
The way he reacted, I thought he was.
It was a late reaction.
I thought he was trying to hammer it through, and you know what? It's not automatic. We in Winnipeg remember very well. Like, coincidentally, we played Mark Leggio tonight, and he missed a field goal. You're showing that, Darrin. But Mark Leggio had a chance to take the Bombers to 10-0 in 2022, and he had a chance for a walk-off field goal from like the 20-yard line, and he completely duffed it because he was trying to just smoke it through the end zone. Like, it's not easy to just smoke a ball through the end zone, and that's what I think 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙯 was doing. I think it adds intrigue to the game. I think it rewards field position. I think it was a fitting way for Saskatchewan to lose. If you don't want that to happen to you, then don't take a frickin' timeout when they took a timeout. Let the play clock run down so you can take it to overtime. That was completely avoidable by the Riders, by rookie head coach Corey Mace.
Yep.
And If you don't want to lose on a walk-off Rouge, then don't make stupid mistakes like that. And don't leave it in a tie game like that. Like the Riders' defense kept the Argos out of the end zone on 3 goal line stands. And they lose like that.
Yeah, they scored 13 points in the first quarter. But
I feel that, Schultz. I got a question for both of you guys. Do you guys love football? You guys like watching football? How cool would it have been just to go to overtime? You miss it, go to overtime. And let's play some more football, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I love free football. Free football. You gotta love free football.
Come on. They keep the concession stands open a little longer, come on, let's watch some more football. But
you're not rewarding a missed field goal. It's a consolation point. It's not rewarding it. It's only rewarding it if you do it to win the game. But how many times has that happened in the last 5 years? Twice? 2 times in the last 5 years.
Yeah, 4 years ago was the last time it happened. Yeah, a walk-off.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
A walk-off that Toronto BC game. Big deal. Listen, I absolutely love it. And people still, like on the Sports Center top 10s, they still play that highlight between Toronto and Montreal where it was tied 30-30 in the Sky Dome. Yeah, and Duval misses the field goal and then Toronto kicks it out. And they do. It's the Rod Black classic. Toronto wants to kick it out and they do. And then Montreal kicks it back in and they hop on the football and for a touchdown. It's just, I love it. And I'm biased because I'm a Canadian, but I love anything that makes our game unique. I love anything that makes our game unique. And this is the Toronto BC play, Darrin, that you've teed up here, where Rennie stops on the back goal line. But it's just
I don't even think it's Canadian bias, right? Like you say, I'm Canadian, I'm biased. I don't think that's what it is. Like maybe that's a point of pride for some people, yourself included, Schnitzy. Absolutely, but for me, it all comes down to the fundamentals of the game. Why have 3 downs? Why 10 yards? Why single points or 2 points for a safety or 3 for? Why is it a single convert for a kick and a 2-point convert to essentially score another touchdown? Why? Because you allot points for different accomplishments in the game. And people making comparisons about an interception should be half a point or a sack or whatever. There's no points for those things. You know what they reward for those things? A loss of downs, a takeaway, possession of the football, so you can continue to move into opponent territory. And I really don't think 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙦, watching it there, he missed it by very little. I think he was trying to make it, but ensuring he had enough leg on it. And I mean, hey, like Simoni, like you said off the top, everybody plays by the same rules. There's lots of quirky rules in the CFL. There's lots of quirky rules in football, period. NFL, NCAA, junior ball, taking it at the 35. Well, but not in the last 3 minutes. Can't do that. Okay, well, lots of quirky rules. That one is not one I think they need to change. I would be open to the conversation. I would love to hear what. Minutes. Yeah, in the last 3 minutes. Let's talk to the coaches and see what it's about. Simoni, you got a final thought on this game? Just a bit of a crazy one here in Winnipeg. Whether you were a member of the Ticats or now as a community ambassador for the Ticats organization, following an illustrious Hall of Fame career, what is it about the Bombers and the Ticats and Steinauer? And well, you can mix in Chris Jones and Scott Milanovich and Mike O'Shea and Jordan Younger, all these former Argos and Grey Cup champs as a coaching staff back in 2012. But what is it about the Tabbies and the Big Blue? You always get these crazy games.
They all come from the same tree. They're all like you would say, Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, big, all frenemies. They all are cousins. They all played under the same tree. They're all learning from the same coaches. And it's just so fun to watch them compete against each other. I used to O'Shea and Orlando. It was always Orlando used to put a little extra into those games, like because of how great of a coach O'Shea was. And, I think that pushed Orlando in 2019 to be coach of the year that year for sure, because he was going at it. And just like
you guys
tonight
were really good in 2019. Really,
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yeah, that was a really fun year. And then you got all the coaches here, Milanovic, Chris Jones, and then you got O'Shea. And then you got Zach Collaros, and it's just like, okay, Zach Collaros, this game, like he wanted to win this game bad because he's going against everybody he was in the locker room with on the other side in every facet. So that drive right there, man. My final thoughts is you Winnipeg fans, man, appreciate Zach Collaros. He's a real gem that you guys have. Anybody that got that kind of testicular fortitude to push through, throwing all those interceptions and keep going and pushing forward and lead the team and not break a sweat and keep the consistency. That's the toughest thing. They always say football is 98% mental, and you guys got somebody that can control his mental no matter what's going on to help you guys get W's. So I'll sign off by saying good job, Zach Collaros. Way to hold down the fort.
Impressive. Simoni, you would know. You would know, my man. You played in this league for a long time. No doubt you're going to be going up with the Mike O'Shea's and all of those other greats with your bronze bust in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. But hey, maybe this is the beginning of a little rivalry friendship between the Ticats and the Bombers and Simoni Lawrence and Bonfire Sports. I'd love to have you on again, man.
Hey, everybody in the chat right now, put your hands out. In Winnipeg, put your hands out. I need to do a handshake. I'm going to look all y'all in the eyes. Thanks for having me here. It was amazing. I love Winnipeg. I went to University of Minnesota. Sometimes we used to cross the border and bust a little one too. So I just want to shake everybody's hands. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Appreciate you, Simoni.
Thanks, Simoni. Man. It was awesome to have you. Great to meet you on the ether waves of the internet. Yeah, and hopefully in person sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. Get me that address so we can get you a big dog chain. So if any Saskatchewan friends try to run up on you, they already know what's up.
They'll just be so confused with my Bomber jersey and my Bonfire hat and my Hamilton chain. They'll be like, "What's going on, buddy?"
What do you mean? This show's the biggest show in the world. We just had Simoni Lawrence on the Bonfire.
Exactly.
Biggest show in the world. Everybody's going to see this. What do you mean? They're not going to be confused. They're going to know exactly where it's coming from.
Exactly. You're right. I take that back. And shout out for using the phrase testicular fortitude. I think that's just incredible. That's just an incredible thing to say. And I'm going to steal it, Simoni. I'm going to use it. I love it.
That's yours, awesome, man. 21, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Everybody in the live chat, loved seeing you here tonight, too. So have a great night. Thanks again.
Hey, you guys have a great one. Thank you.
There he goes. Simoni Lawrence joining us on Game Day After Dark. That was awesome. Like, I mean, when Simoni texted me last night, or he sent me a Twitter DM and, we exchanged some more information, we had a bit of a relationship prior. Like, we see each other, we talk, that sort of thing. But like, I didn't have his phone number or anything like that. When he reached out, I was like, yeah, we'll do 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Here we are an hour into the show. And I think we could have gone another hour with him. He was awesome. Yeah,
that was a great get, Darrin. That was super fun, and I was so excited to have him on the show. What a great guest.
No doubt, would love to have him on again. Let's get into your experience, Schnitzy. How was the Sellout Crowd at Fred Penner's concert tonight?
Oh, was it a sellout though, Darrin?
Oh, that's what they said.
Was it a sellout? They said it was a sellout, and then later, when they always do in the fourth quarter, they posted the attendance number. It was 32,000 and change. I'm sorry, but that's not a sellout at Princess Auto Stadium.
No.
33 and change is a sellout, so maybe it was just an error. But the atmosphere was electric in the first half when we were moving the ball, went up 16-3. But I have to tell you, in the second half, myself included, I was completely deflated. Zach throws a couple picks. The offense couldn't get out of their own way. There was Gabe Wallace that goes down. You had Stanley Bryant that goes down. Then you have Brady Oliveira that goes down, and then Bailey Feltmate, the fullback. You had four injuries, four big injuries, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the air went out of the stadium. There were boo birds. Oh, by the way, we can't do this wide shot screenshot because now you can see all my son's toys. Yes, that's a Paw Patrol boat and a TIE fighter wing there that's broken
That's
off.
awesome.
But anyway,
man. You are the Bonfire dad.
I guess so, eh? I loved Simoni's jerseys hanging on there, hanging in the background. I should do some of that.
And he's got the Orlando Steinhauer, the Angela Mosca. That's awesome. Great. Yeah.
So the air went out of the sails in the stadium, Darrin. And honestly, like I told you, my father-in-law and his buddy left. And I didn't blame them. When Zach threw that third pick, I was like, this game is over. And actually for the whole second half, I was like, the Bombers aren't going to win this game. Even if they're down by 20-19, they just showed nothing in the second half that would show that they were going to come back and win this game. And then comes what I call the drive.
Well, how about this comment from Michael Penner? Fred Penner sang about the cat coming back, and then the cats came back.
Ooh, that's good. Michael
comment
Penner,
of the night.
You got a shout out. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I love that. That's actually really good. That's very clever. And they did come back, and it looked like they, even when Leggio missed that field goal. And by the way, Whitehead should know better. He should have taken a knee.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Yeah.
You should be going down by 2. Who cares? You're going to give up a point to go down by 2 to get 40 yards or I guess in that case it was 24 yards of field position. You do it because we were on the 16. Anyway, digression aside, that drive was crazy. The Bombers showed no inclination that they would be able to pull that off, Darrin. They had no business pulling that off at the end of the game. Hamilton had them dead to rights. And just unbelievable. What an unbelievable game. And as a dad, as a Bomber fan, I was there with my daughter and her friend and her dad. Like literally both of us dads, when we scored the touchdown, I say we because that's being a fanatic. It's we, it's not they.
Well, you heard Sim say it too, right?
Yeah, of course. When we scored the touchdown, Darrin, we both lifted our daughters up way in the air and just started screaming, and they were screaming. They didn't really even understand why we were screaming. It was, man. And then I did my Schnitzer stair climb.
Mm-hmm.
It was that is a game I will always remember as a fan, in part because of how it ended, in part because my daughter was there with me, and she, by rights, Darrin, she should have thrown up because she'd eaten French fries and chicken tenders and popcorn and an iced tea and whatever. Speaking of, I'll get to popcorn later. Okay. I will get to popcorn later.
All right,
but buddy, that was an all-time game that ranks right up there with the 2017 12-point comeback with 1:50 left or whatever, when Andrew Harris punched it in with, I don't know, zeros on the clock. This was an all-time game that I'll always remember, and it's incredible. Just incredible. What a night, man. What an absolute night. And as quiet as it was throughout the whole second half, when we scored that touchdown and that cannon goes off, wow. I have rarely seen the house shake like that, buddy. It was incredible.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull up that final drive so we can have a look at it here. And it got close, right? You know what? I'm just going to play the final drive. I should have been doing this actually while you were kind of breaking it down, but here's the final possession of the game for the Blue Bombers, and it's amazing how it started pretty deep in their own end. And this is, Collaros taking that deep shot to Nick Dembski, and it was great getting the perspective of Simoni about that, saying, okay, you need to score, And some people think it's like, I think it's fair to say it's a pretty big risk to take that deep shot. But Simoni, I don't know, kind of surprises me. Says, oh, we were expecting it. The Ticats were expecting it. And Dembski very close to pulling this one in. And you can see the frustration on him after that. But to take that deep shot on 1st and 10 on their own 38 with 90 seconds left in the game is a real, it's a bit of a gamble, because there they are on 2nd and 10 and they pick up 4 yards. Or pardon me, they pick up 7 yards. So it's 3rd and 3 is manageable, but you got a 3rd down here with the game on the line. And this is the points where, Simoni rightfully points out, it's like, Collaros threw 3 picks and he's got a bad, completion percentage and quarterback efficiency rating, those picks looming large. And on 3rd and 3, boom, hits Ontario Wilson for a nice chunk. And he is calm and collected and just steady. Fresh set of downs now with 75 seconds left, and Winnipeg's O-line doing everything they can with the ragtag kind of situation that they're in, with Stanley Bryant down to injury and Gabe Wallace down to injury and new guys playing guard, new guys playing tackle. It was a challenge at that point, Schnitzy, and they made it happen. The huge scoring drive.
Well, and just playing this over is great, because one of the things that was highlighted to me just watching it again is Zach Collaros ran the ball himself about 3 or 4 times. We'll get the actual stats, Darrin, but he ran the ball. And I think I think it was for about 15 yards in total, right? Mm-hmm. But I think, because he was hurried because of the patchwork O-line, I just think that he's not a running quarterback. He's a mobile quarterback. He's not a running quarterback. He doesn't break defenses down with his legs. But that's the type of guy he is. He does what he has to do to win. That's all that matters to Zach Collaros, is winning. And I'm not going to take away what he did earlier in the game, because, quite frankly, he didn't have a great game. When you throw 3 picks, it doesn't matter. You didn't have a great game, but snap and clear, right? And he's running for close to a 1st down there. He's running out of bounds, stopping the clock. He's, I just think they made it happen somehow.
They did. I'll answer this question that just popped into the live chat. What is the status of Kyrie Wilson? He is on the 6-game injured list, and while we don't have a specific timeline for return, he is on his way back. Brian Cole, Kyrie Wilson, those injuries loom large right now with no Adam Bighill, and it's left to Tony Jones, who had a great year with Edmonton last year, came into Elks training camp expecting to be the starter and got cut out of training camp. Winnipeg said, yeah, absolutely, we'll take you. And now he's getting his opportunity to start at weak side and played a lot of middle linebacker tonight as well. Winnipeg's defense changed things up quite a bit, but here it is, 2nd and 1. No Chris Streveler. They go to Brady Oliveira, who was nicked up in this game. It was Johnny Augustine, and you can see Brady there clearly in discomfort. And they showed it a little bit earlier in the broadcast, how he took kind of a helmet to the knee and then showed him on the sidelines, kind of running, doing some high steps, that sort of thing. Johnny Augustine came in. I thought he did very, very well. But when it matters most, Brady's like, I need to be in there. And there he is on 2nd and 1, picking up the 1st down. 44 seconds left. 4-point game here. Field goal is no good. A field goal is no good to them. So it makes this drive even that much more impressive, because the Ticats know Winnipeg needs to score a touchdown. So their defense is not, well, okay, we just got to limit chunk plays and limit them from getting into field goal range. Oh, no. They need 4 points to tie. They need a touchdown. And they're not afraid to, or Winnipeg, not afraid to make some gutsy play calls and find success, which they did. I thought this final drive showed exactly why Zach Collaros is so well regarded in this league, regardless of the numbers.
Yeah. And this is the play right now. This is, I believe, where we thought Wilson had the catch on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
And I thought that was game, right? But he
Oof.
drops it. And I think he drops it when he's trying to extend for the end zone. I thought he was down by contact before the ball came out, but I guess they viewed that he didn't, that he wasn't down when he extended. Yeah, he drops the ball.
Yeah.
So that was kind of that's a little job, but I think it's a little bit of a rookie mistake on his part, right? You've got some time left on the clock. Just make sure you get the catch. Don't worry about extending it over the line, because I think that's where he drops it. And nobody punches it out. He just drops it. Man, I love these highlights, Darrin.
Yeah.
Look at these nervous fans.
It's pretty great to see them. Somebody pointing out there, who was it here in the live chat, that Tony Jones was the player who punched the ball out on the kick return. I would like to watch that punch out and scoop and score for Michael Ayers, another American rookie linebacker, stepping in tonight. Stepping up with a huge play tonight. So here's 2nd and goal. And I'm surprised it's this choppy. I really am. But there's the shot to Kenny Lawler. I think we got a nice replay of it here. There's Eric Lofton doing his best 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙯𝙯 impression, celebrating with the Bombers quarterback following the touchdown. Let's see if we got a clear shot of this Kenny Lawler TD. Oof. Yeah. You can see that red spinner. That's the TSN broadcast that was kind of buffering a little bit. So Winnipeg takes the lead, and they come away with an absolutely monstrous victory tonight. A final score that I think surprised a lot of people, especially those looking at the Hamilton Tiger Cats as struggling. 26-23. Winnipeg comes away with the victory. It did not look like it was going this way, Schnitzy.
No.
The first half, completely different story.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of just relaxing into halftime, just being like, yeah, we got this. It's 16-3. They had like 3 first downs. The Ticats did. The Bombers had 14 first downs in the first half. Levi Mitchell was doing nothing. It looked like our secondary was clamping down on our throats, right? Like it and then the Ticats come out of the gate with a touchdown, and then a touchdown and a field goal. The Ticats scored 17 points in the third quarter, Darrin.
Yeah.
These
were the numbers at the half.
These
were the numbers at the half when Winnipeg was up 16-3. Okay. Ticats had 41 yards rushing. They had 54 yards passing. And as you mentioned, 3 first downs. 14 offensive plays, 88 net yards of offense. They did not have a good first half at all. Let's see if I can pull up Bo Levi's numbers here. Yeah, there we go. At the half, Bo Levi Mitchell was 3 of 8 for 54 yards. He was 37% passing. Bell had 10 yards on the ground, and Tim White had 50 yards of the 54.
Yeah.
that the Hamilton Tiger Cats were able to do at the half. The final lines, much different. There's Bo Levi Mitchell, 220 yards passing, 50%. Bell did have a couple touchdowns, but just 41 yards on the ground. And Tim White, quite a day, 7 catches on 10 targets for 134 yards. It was a big one. They really found a way to beat this Blue Bombers defense in the in the second half. Scott Milanovic, I give him a ton of credit.
Yep, they made halftime adjustments, right, Darrin? And that's what winning teams do. In the end, it just wasn't quite enough. And I guess you can say that good teams, championships teams, what matters is they find ways to win. I know Joey, our buddy Joey Slattery was talking about that and texting us after the game, right? Like
Mhm.
sometimes it looks ugly, but good teams, championship teams win, and bad teams, uh, not championship teams. I don't know what the opposite of championship teams, basement teams, they find a way to lose.
Meddling
And the rider
teams.
middling. The Riders found a way to lose last night, and the Ticats, unfortunately, tragically for their fans who have been through a horrible year, they find a way to lose this game. And if I'm a Ticats fan, I would just be thoroughly heartbroken, disgusted, horrified at what I saw. Now we have to talk about this play that you just showed, Darrin.
James Tuck, former Blue Bomber and Bombers draft pick, fullback, special teamer, late hit on 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙯𝙯, and for, what was it, 𝘎𝙏𝙯𝙯 getting the 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty for the retaliation. How about that get up?
That's Tony Tones, baby, with the overalls and the luchador mask. That's Tony.
Oh, there you go. How about that? Yeah, Chris Joyle with a comment here. It wasn't only a late hit. It was the fact that the little shove afterwards was given the equal penalty of 15 yards. The guy who landed on our guy's head at full speed. Let's see. Yeah, there's the official giving the final call, and we'll get a look at the hit once again. But fans obviously completely in dismay and confused. But here's James Tuck and his late hit on 𝘎𝙤𝙯𝙯 in the second quarter down there. And it's just unnecessary. Terrible. Now, look, we can't see Tuck, was he shoved or anything like that? I don't believe he was, but you do not need to hit the player. You can let the player be. He's down. He's wrapped up.
Oh, it was so late. It was one of the most egregious hits I've seen in a long time. And fans were absolutely apoplectic, Darrin. Irate.
I like that word.
Irate? Apoplectic?
Apoplectic.
Pick your synonym. Fans were pissed.
Yeah.
Pissed. And I don't get why 𝘎𝙏𝙯𝙯 got a penalty there for just like,
Well, it's because he shoved the player from behind after the whistle.
Yeah, but given what Tuck had just done, like giving him a little shove, I get it if he punched him or, really shoved him, but he just, he was protecting 𝘎𝙤𝙯𝙯. He was protecting his guy.
Yeah.
Come on. But, whatever, right? Like the refs call it the way they call it, and I'm not going to complain too much.
So, Schnitzy, we've got to get into WALBY'S Warrior, Westwood's wide to the right, our happy honker. We already did the Bonfire burning point. That was the final possession of the game. Winnipeg able to hang on. Jeff Kabilis. There you go. Apoplectic soup.
Kabilis. Love this guy.
I've heard that before. Kabilis getting the gears in the live chat a little bit earlier tonight because backing me up a little bit.
Nice.
Giving him the gears. Hey, come at TV. All you out there. You come at me. You don't come at the fire starters. Okay. You guys play nice together. I'll take the heat. I got the fire burning behind me here. Okay. I'll take the heat.
You do.
When it comes to WALBY'S Warrior, I think automatically we're going to give it to Stanley Bryant tonight. This was the final play that Stanley Bryant played tonight. Okay. And I'm going to start it over again. He's at left tackle. And he's not there on the end. He's one in. I don't know if you guys can see. He's right there. And like nothing out of the ordinary. But then it just got to a point where Bryant clearly wasn't feeling well. Okay. There he is just to the left of the goalpost. And he's not lost there. I've seen Stanley do that. I've seen lots of tackles across the league do that exact thing. Their job is to leave one guy, go to another. Nothing out of the ordinary. Okay. But he clearly wasn't feeling well. There he is, met by trainers. And what I noticed, see if I can do this. What I noticed is his eyes, Stanley Bryant's eyes are closed this entire time. So whether that's vertigo or whatever, I'm not exactly sure. But there is, I'll show this one more time. Stanley's eyes are closed here, okay? And I think he was struggling to breathe a little bit. Chris Walby and I talked about this on Game Day Winnipeg in the pregame show. It is tough for offensive linemen when it is hot and humid and muggy, okay? And for someone like Stanley Bryant that does not get hurt seemingly, does not miss games, to see him on the field, getting an IV drip, towel on the head, water, overall positive indication, and hopefully an abundance of caution in giving him that IV drip, getting him stabilized on the stretcher, and getting him once on the stretcher, then stabilized on the field before taking him off the field. I thought that was important. And clearly something not worth taking a risk on in pro sports today. There have been catastrophic instances of this in the National Football League and in a lot of leagues. And I'm giving WALBY'S Warrior tonight to Stanley Bryant, who I mentioned earlier. Obviously, we know how good of a football player he is. People need to know Stanley Bryant is a real dude. He is a real one. He is an outstanding, kind, genuine person. My humble self is his Twitter handle, and I think it's so on the nose because he is humble and genuine, just genuine. If somebody asked me to put Stanley Bryant into one word, genuine dude. Off the field, I'm sure he is on the field as well, but when it comes to the type of person he is, genuine. That's my WALBY Warrior tonight.
Dude, I got to echo that. Absolute WALBY'S Warrior is Stanley Bryant, a guy, an Iron Man. I mean, he never misses any games. So you know that if, and I've seen him get up hobbled, Darrin, many times. He stays in the game. So when you see him take a knee, when you see him go on a stretcher, your heart goes out to him because he is an Iron Man. He's a Cal Ripken type. You know, the staying healthy is a skill. And that's one of the reasons why he's the best offensive lineman of American-born of all time, because he stayed healthy. He's played that many games and played it at such a high level. And I hope he's okay. I think it was heat exhaustion. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. He did throw up on the field. They were cleaning it up after.
He did
no?
No, I was watching it. He was drinking water and he just shot a mouthful of water out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I can understand how, like, from a distance, like he was far from us in the press box too. But I was watching with my phone zoomed in. It was just a mouthful of water.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Some people mentioned that in the live chat too,
buddy. Good catch by you.
And no, I am not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I've been around a lot of football teams, a lot of football players. I've seen a lot. I will never speak definitively about health. Okay. I am not an expert, but I have had a lot of experience in seeing situations with different things. And I can just give you my 2 cents, for what it is. But anyway.
Why is it 2 cents? Why do people why is that a saying? Like, why isn't it 3 cents? Why isn't it 1 cent? Why is it 2? We got to look that up. Somebody in the chat look that up. The etymology of 2 cents. I always love these phrases and where they come from. Anyway, total digression.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 is more than 1 cent. But
you
3
got
is more than 2.
And then, of course, hoping the best for Gabe Wallace as well.
Absolutely.
Look, I will show this once. Don't need to show it a lot, but for people that may have missed it, we do have to look at these things. I mean, it's important to understand the rigors that these athletes go to. But there's Gabe Wallace, 61, And
Ooh, he got
Zach
rolled
Collaros
up on.
just
Ouch.
getting sacked by Casey Sales onto Gabe Wallace's knee. And there he is, Al Couture, the Bombers' head athletic therapist and trainer, working on that right knee for Gabe Wallace. So hoping the best for him as well. Heck of a great football player. I don't know Gabe Wallace personally, haven't had any interactions with him, but you can see the teammates, how important it was for them to be there for their teammate. And you hope Gabe Wallace is okay. Rookie. For that to happen to a rookie is tough, your first year to have an injury like that. It happened to Brady Oliveira. Remember how nasty that leg break was for Brady in his rookie year?
I was just thinking of that, buddy. In wasn't that 2019? It was a special teams play.
Yeah,
like the first game of the season, and he got knocked out of the season. Yeah, I do. I do remember that. Oh, people answering me about my 2 cents question here, because you rub 2 pennies together to form your opinion. Okay,
there you go.
Thanks, you, Bomber fan.
Yeah.
All right, Westwood's wide to the right.
Yeah, you got Westwood's wide to the right. Yeah.
Listen, Bryant goes down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they have to adjust things. Okay. Kenny Randolph goes to left tackle from right guard. So he's going from guard to tackle. That is not easy. That's like trying to write with your left hand if you're right-handed. I don't know if you've ever tried to write with your opposite hand, but that's a big shift, okay? And then 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙯 goes to right guard. He's a backup. He comes in for running plays typically for 6-man protection or whatever.
Plays tight end. Yeah.
Yeah, plays tight end. So they have to make adjustments. Then Wallace goes down. That's your last backup lineman. Then you're getting into Jake Thomas or whatever. Pick your D lineman coming in on offense, having to change their number, right? My why to the right is, why in God's name in the second half didn't they adjust the play calling, Darrin, to help out the O-line? Zach was getting mauled. If he wasn't getting sacked,
well, you don't think the Ticats made adjustments?
I'm sure the Ticats made adjustments.
I'm sure Winnipeg did too.
I'm sure the adjustments they made were to either confuse this patchwork O-line, and credit to this patchwork O-line, they won the game, right? I'm not taking anything away from what they did. But if I am Buck Pierce and I have a patchwork O-line with 2 guys that have gone down, including a Hall of Fame Ring of Honor left tackle and Stanley Bryant, arguably the best O-lineman ever, why am I either running the ball on first down or straight drop back passing with a 5 to 7 step drop? Where is the quick hitches and screens that Winnipeg was using in the past few games, Darrin, that actually opened up the run game because it widened out the defense and made them have to play them more honest? There was no adjustment that I saw, and I'm not a football expert in terms of X's and O's.
I love it,
but
though.
I didn't quite understand why Buck Pierce didn't throw a few screens to Ontario Wilson and some hitches, right, to Kevin Sklercius, whatever you want to do, right?
Yep.
Help the O-line out. Collaros, how many times did he rush today? Collaros never rushes the ball. He ran like 4 or 5 times because he was trying to take the pressure off the offensive line, and he had nowhere to go. So he ran for 3 yards, ran for 4 yards, ran for 5 yards. Anyway, I don't want to. Yeah, look at this. Credit to Zach Collaros. He did what he had to do, but those were not designed runs by Zach Collaros. Buck Pierce would not call a design run for Zach Collaros. And I didn't understand, especially given how we'd gone to the quick game the last few games, why we suddenly went away for it when we needed it the most. With 2 O-linemen going down. Come on.
I will give my Westwood wide to the right to Jeremy Ediger's suggestion. For me, mentioning BC and Montreal in the same breath as Elk Stamps, Bombers Riders, Ticats Argos in those Labor Day rivalry games. That's my Westwood wide to the right. Other people mentioning Mark Leggio's miss. Yeah, I mean, wide to the left. So, yeah. Hey,
I mean, Darrin, why? Just to punctuate this digression, this
mm-hmm.
you're wide to the right. Why doesn't the CFL do a Labor Day rivalry between Montreal and Ottawa? Like,
well, it's because Ottawa wasn't in the league for a long time, so
I know,
Montreal need to play
now.
BC. And now, like, look, it is not on the same level of those other three rivalries.
I understand, but it's better than Montreal BC.
Well, maybe now. Maybe it will
now.
be now.
I'm talking about now.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll do that.
Why don't they start a rivalry? Every rivalry started somewhere. Start it now.
Montreal BC started.
Yeah, but it never took off.
Okay, well then maybe
there's
they'll
no
make that
regional reason for that.
Maybe they'll make that change. Do you got a happy honker tonight?
I do. I have probably the best happy honker of the year. I have to first give my happy honker not A but B, just as a honorable happy honker to Dustin Nielsen, the play-by-play announcer on TSN, because it was Fred Penner night. He started singing "Sandwiches are beautiful, sandwiches are fine, sandwiches, well, I eat them all the time, whatever." And then I guess he had they had this massive sandwich that they went up to the booth and he started eating the sandwich. And I thought that was brilliant. I love Dustin Nielsen. But my happy honker goes to a beautiful, charming, funny woman named Shannon, who came all the way down to my seat. I don't know where she was sitting, Darrin. You might know, because apparently you guys are an item. She gave me some popcorn because she said Darrin was losing his mind the last couple of times you mentioned that popcorn you were getting from your buddy Steve Berea. So I had to give you popcorn, and I want you to say something about it on the show to make Darrin's brain explode. And she comes down and gives me the popcorn, and I just laughed so hard. I don't know what she sees in you. She's way too good for you.
Yeah, probably.
But she is awesome, and she won my heart right there. Great person.
Won your heart? Whoa. What?
Well, listen. Just
talking about my girlfriend here.
Purely platonic friendship won my heart.
So,
and I look forward. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say she has become a fan of you, Schnitzy, just from watching Game Day After Dark here on Bonfire, right? Has become a huge fan of yours. And when I got incredibly frustrated with your repeated popcorn stories, she still gives me the gear. Like to this day, she still mentions it. And she's like, well, how many times are you going to tell the Dietrich Nichols story of his daughter giving your dog her little doll toy? You've told that story more than Schnitzy told the popcorn story. I told it on different occasions. You told it 3 times in kind of one show, but I am very lucky. And she, was watching, after I finished my hit on CGOB, my pregame hit, stepping in for Ted Wyman, who, by the way, is doing well. And we do hope Ted is back soon. Always giving a shout out to Teddy. I'll give Teddy my happy honker tonight.
There you go.
All the best, Teddy. Love you, brother. But after I finished that hit, she's like, well, where's Schnitzy's seats? So that's why I texted you.
That's why you texted me. I was like, why are you asking me where? Yeah. You were like, where exactly are your seats? I'm like, 128, row 11. There she is. You lucky man. I look forward to hanging out with Shannon on the 1930 crew bus, buddy. We are going to have a great time. I can tell you right now.
Yes. Well, she has a knack for making friends quickly.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Steve in the chat. Shout out to Steve. He's just a beauty. And very, very, very thoughtful guy. came over, sat down beside me, said some nice things about my mother-in-law tonight that I recently lost. And Darrin, I just want to tell you, my daughter actually wore the mother-in-law jersey tonight, and that was just
That's
super
great.
special. That
That is
was
so
awesome.
great.
It says mother-in-law on the back. It's my Twitter picture. Yeah. Anyways, shout out to Steve. Shout out to Popcorn. Shout out to Shannon. Love it.
How about shout out to the gentleman you went to the game with?
Yes, okay, I'll give him a shout out. His head will get too big. Drew Mandel brought his daughter and his best friends with my daughter, so we've become friends. And Drew, he's of course the host of the Illegal Curve Hockey Show that's been on for about 15 years. Very, very successful show. Great stuff that they do with Ezzy and Dave. But yeah, Drew is a big Bomber fan. I don't know if people know that, but he's a huge Bomber fan. And he was as nuts as I was on that Kenny Lawler touchdown with 19 seconds left. So it was fun to hang out with Drew. And he is a big, as is Ezzy. Ezzy, I don't know about Dave, but Ezzy's a big Bomber fan. He came to a game with me this year as well. Because, we drop off our kids, pick them up, we talk Jets, we talk Bombers, and nice guys.
Dave's always asking me about the Bombers. Always asking me about what's happened. Oh yeah, those guys. I mean, they're real ones.
Yeah.
They want to know what's going on. Yeah. So shout out IC. Yeah. No doubt. Great to see the crossover between the Jets, the Bombers, hockey and football. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention another group of good friends. Look at this place.
Yeah.
Okay. Scotswood Links. Absolutely gorgeous. Whoop. There we go. 18 holes. Golf goodness. Okay. Just 25 minutes west of the city on Highway 3. They have done so much work on this course through the last several years as the younger members of the Sisson family have kind of taken over and taken a lot of pride. There's always been a lot of pride in this golf course. Absolutely gorgeous facilities. The clubhouse, oh yes, it's got you covered. Look at this place. Incredible. You got to check them out. Scotswoodlinks.com. That's Scotswood with one T. Bring out the family. You're going to have a good time. Scotswoodlinks.com. And look at this place.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
The golf course is incredible. The clubhouse, the restaurant, the patios, and then they've got some really great private banquet facilities as well. So if you got weddings, corporate events, celebratory functions, whatever, they've got you covered. My friends Justin and Steph got married there. Amazing food, amazing people. Just you got to check it out. Scotswoodlinks.com, Scotswood with one T, Scotswoodlinks.com/bonfire will get you a great 30% discount on distracted here by a whole bunch of text messages coming in. Scotswoodlinks.com/bonfire will get you 30% off a foursome with power carts. Big thanks to Scotswood Links for their support of the channel. Apparently, I'm just getting some text messages and emails from Judy Owen of the Canadian Press. Outstanding person. Incredible reporter. Thanks for the cucumber from your garden. Gonna have that in a little sandwich tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah. I'll give a game ball to Judy for the cucumber. You got a game ball tonight?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Okay.
Tim White, I think, has to get a game ball from me because he was a real game breaker for the Ticats, and had they won, I think he would have got a lot more laurels than maybe he will get because they lost. How many yards did Tim? What was it? 133.
Well,
He had a lot of yards. He had a
I
big
was
pile.
gonna pull that up, but I thought I would pull up one of his impressive
There he goes.
catches tonight.
He's a smaller guy, hey?
Yep. And he had a real slow start to the season, but tonight he was really good. And that was in the first half.
He reminds, in terms of stature and sort of style, he kind of reminds me of Brandon Banks.
Yeah.
Fast, runs, I was going to say, routes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a good comparable. Yeah, Brandon Banks was tiny. White has a little bit of length on him. Here, let's see. Can I pull up those numbers for tonight? It was here we go. Tim White tonight.
134 yards.
Did I lose it? I think I lost it.
No, I got it. That's 134. I mean, that's
7 catches for 134 yards. 2 second down conversions and a large of 30. I can't go a whole show without dropping a large.
No, you can't.
No. I stole that from you.
Well, there's my other game ball. Perfect timing, Darrin. Terrell Bonds. Boundary halfback, rookie for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, part of that elite secondary that we've seen just bloom in the last few games, Darrin. He had a couple of pass knockdowns. Bo Levi Mitchell in the first quarter took a deep shot on Bonds, and Bonds literally ran the route of the receiver. And I just think he's a special player. And shout out to Ted Gavaya, Danny McManus, and Kyle Walters for finding these DBs. I mean, first it was D. Alford, who's now a starter in the NFL.
Yeah.
And Tyrell Ford and Terrell Bonds, Demario Houston. Terrell Bonds. Demario Houston, Jamal Parker. I mean, unbelievable talent that we found at the DB position. So he gets another game ball. And I thought Oliveira had a strong game. He had a large of 28 yards. That this guy rips off runs that he just is so balanced in the way he runs. He just, I can't even describe it, just the way he sort of bobs and weaves his way through tacklers and stiff arms guys and gets hit and somehow stays on his feet and runs for 10 more yards. He is just an absolute pleasure to watch. And he had 120 yards rushing tonight. 28 was his long run. But yeah, I love Brady. There it is. Just the way, perfect. I just love these highlights, man. Oh, that's on the 2nd and 10 draw play. Don't you love when a draw play actually works on 2nd and 10? Just
otherwise you get just thrown over the coals for it. 2nd and 10, absolutely. What are you doing running it? Well, this is why. Because sometimes it works perfect. And there's Brady breaking a tackle, breaking another one.
Yeah.
And of course, it's now become trademark.
Head slap.
The head slaps.
Head slap.
He better be careful. Those all contribute to wear and tear on the body. Don't smack yourself too much. Yeah, I mean, breaking tackles with his arms, breaking tackles with his legs, and then finishing strong like that. Get off me. Here we go. Yeah, when you pick up a run like that on 2nd and 10, you can see why Brady Oliveira was fired up. Yeah. Okay. How about this for a game ball? This will be one of my game balls. I got to. I started it too early. This is one of my game balls tonight. Great play on special teams late in the first half as Jam Shane punts it, and it's, pardon me, it is Tony Jones with the forced fumble and Michael Ayers with the scoop and score. Just an incredible play on special teams that really helped Winnipeg establish that first half lead. And had that play not happened, Winnipeg would not have won tonight. It doesn't always come down to the final drives or final possessions when those points are scored. Those points early are obviously important as well. There's 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙯, or 23. Sorry, not 𝘎𝙬𝙯. The gunner. I sure thought that was 𝘎𝙬𝙯.
Charbonneau? Oh.
23. Is that Noah Hallett?
Oh, is he? Oh, could be. It looks like Hallett on the jersey. Yeah.
Forgive me. I got to look it up here. 23. Yeah, Noah Hallett doing a great job as the gunner. The gunner being the player that essentially tries to get there first. They gun it down the field. But there's Noah Hallett right there on the left side of your screen, and he gets to Bird first and forces him to make a move. That's what you want to do on special teams. We talked about this a few games ago. The gunner forces the returner to make a move. Okay. And it really looks like with Winnipeg's 3 defenders here, the way they set up this kick coverage is Hallett was going to do everything he could to not let Bird go left. Force him to the right. See how he stays in his lane? He does not, look, he's not even running at Bird here. He's running to a spot on the field. He's running here. He stays straight. This is disciplined football. He's just ensuring he contains that edge and forces Bird to the right, because that's where Winnipeg has bodies. And there's Nick Hallett, Tyrell Ford, and Tony Jones, all converging on the football. And let's not forget Tyrell Ford. He's the one that puts the hit on Bird here. And then it's Jones that actually pops the ball out. But there's Tyrell Ford making it happen on everyone's talking Roland Milligan, doing everything on defense, doing everything on special teams. Well, you don't always get the credit for the great plays that you make. There is Canadian youngster Tyrell Ford leading to Tony Jones' forced fumble. Michael Ayers, Johnny on the spot, picks it up and scores. I will give a game ball tonight to Noah Hallett, Nick Hallett. I'll give 2 game balls to Tyrell Ford, and then we'll go to Tony Jones and Michael Ayers as well. That special teams unit, nice. Mike Miller, they get the game ball tonight.
That's a great game ball or set of game balls, and I thought, especially because Zach threw a red zone pick, that they absolutely needed to make up those points, and they did, and a huge turn of events in the game. Had they not had that, they would have lost the game. So well said, DB.
Yep. Here's Nick Hallett's sack as Celestin Haba comes off the right edge, and Hallett, I don't know if I'm not sure if they call this the robber as a defensive look, but what Hallett does, it's like a delayed rush of the quarterback, and Winnipeg just rushed 3. Okay, where is Hallett? He's not even on your screen. But you see that hesitation? Hallett comes onto your screen here. He's right there on the left edge of your screen under the TSN logo. Okay? Watch the hesitation before he goes. He waits. Patience pays dividends. And Nick Hallett with a really nice play. Really nice play there for, I think, his first sack of the season. So, yeah. There you go. Schnitzy, look, this game was entertaining from start to finish, and Winnipeg now sits a half a game out of first place in the West. Who would have thought that? It's crazy. It is absolutely nuts that 2 weeks ago, Winnipeg was 2-4 and looking at back-to-back games against the hottest team in the league, the number 1 offense, the early season frontrunner for MOP, Vernon Adams Jr., and the BC Lions. And Winnipeg's best case scenario was to maybe win 1 of those 2 games and be 3-5. Worst case, they would have been 2-6, or pardon me, they were 2-6. They could have been 2-8. I'll correct myself. Best case scenario would have been 3-7. So to go from 2-6 to 4-6, and now 5-6 with a nail-biting win against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You go into Regina for Labor Day. if you're not on the 1930 crew bus. I don't know what you're thinking, but they go into that game and we'll be there on that bus with Hustler, myself, and you, and Shannon, and all the popcorn, and having a great time. But they go into that game with the Rough Riders 1-5-1 in their last 7 games. 1 win, 5 losses, and a tie. Winnipeg has won 3 straight, 4 straight at home, and now the Labor Day and the Banjo Bowl on tap. It's wide open in the West. Winnipeg is trending in the right direction. I worry about the offense. If they can do enough, especially like you hope Stanley's back. I don't think Gabe Wallace is going to be back, but Wallace was kind of, the backup to 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙨 and Liam Dobson and that sort of thing. No indication on Pat Neufeld yet, but I don't think the O-line is going to be too much of a concern. But what I am concerned with is the level of play of this offense as a whole. Aren't you?
Yeah. It's the weak link of this team right now. You have the defense playing lights out. You've got special teams, aside from the fact that we haven't had a big play return all season, and we're the only that hasn't. Sergio Castillo is kicking the ball exceptionally well. The cover teams are doing exceptionally well. The defense is doing exceptionally well. But this offense is inconsistent. They turn the ball over. I don't know that they have an identity yet, Darrin. But if this offense can play even middling in terms of their level of play, this is an elite championship team. All they have to do is play average. Stop turning the ball over at this clip, especially in the red zone. Just play average offensive football. This team would be very, very difficult to beat. But tonight, let's not take away from the fact that this team nearly lost to the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who were coming in at 2-8 and who had just been embarrassed by the Edmonton Elks. So we're not out of the woods here. This offense needs to start gaining some momentum, start scoring more than 20 points a game. They absolutely need to clean things up. Agreed. And then you're looking at a real contender.
Yep. Well put. I like it. I mean, these games are going to be absolute slobber knockers. Yeah. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are pissed off, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I think they can taste blood in the water. It's going to be really good football. Really good, hard-nosed, smack you in the mouth football. And excited to bring you pregame and postgame coverage here on the channel, both before and after that game. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for it. But, I just hope we come back in good shape, Schnitzy, because health is important. And if you need your health checked out, go to Pure Winnipeg. They are the city's premier proactive healthcare facility, advancing healthcare excellence. Whether you got strains, sprains, breaks, or a deep cut, they've got you covered with their minimal wait time, minor injury walk-in clinic. Whether it's a job site injury, sports-related pain, Pure's new medical facilities have in-house x-ray, casting, stitches, and get you back to enjoying summer in no time. What's great about Pure is the minimal wait time injury clinic. Like, you don't have to wait at Pan Am or urgent care or the ER anymore. You'll get in and out in no time. If you need a GP, if you need some occupational health work, strength and conditioning in their beautiful gym facilities, or you just need someone to talk to, what's going on in your life. They have therapists there that will take care of your mind, your body, and get you back on track in no time. Executive health programs, just incredible equipment and facilities and amazing people. So check them out at 1129 Empress Street. Give them a call, 338-PURE. That's 204-338-7873. They are just north of Polo Park on Empress, right by the Rona. People don't like when I say they're near Garbage Hill, but people know where Garbage Hill is. They're right next to it. And if you want to work out at Pure, well, you can run up and down Garbage Hill. Great place to get some incline runs in. They've also got a new physiotherapy clinic at 2265 Pembina Highway. So check them out, purewinnipeg.com, and give them a call at 338 Pure. Big thanks to them and their support of Bonfire Sports. And big thanks to you. Big thanks to Simoni Lawrence and everybody out there who hit the thumbs up tonight. Go ahead and do that if you haven't yet, or don't do it. Used to play that reverse psychology game as well. But we have had hundreds and hundreds of people watching live on YouTube and Facebook, watching live on Instagram. And maybe they got tired of the vertical and having things chopped off, right? That's why it says right there. You go to YouTube, you search at Bonfire WPG, any of the social media channels, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Bonfire WPG, you will find us. And if you get lost in anything, you just go to bonfiresports.ca and you'll find links to everything there. And we had big ups to the super chatters tonight. Ryan Friesen with $20. Thank you, sir. Very kind. Once again, that was the most gritty win I've seen in years. Down 3 linemen and running back on the limp. We come out and win anyway in spite of bad calls by the ref, and that gave Hamilton a turnover. This Bombers team is special. Ticats suck, says Ryan Friesen. And Sasha, very generous. Zach, get some toys. Whoa. Or Daphne, some toys, or for Daphne, I guess. I was thinking maybe for your daughter and your son as well. And share some pics, says Sasha. Thank you, Sasha, on Thanks, behalf Sasha. Of Zach. Yeah, appreciate you guys a lot. And comment of the night goes to Michael Penner. I wonder if he's related. Fred Penner saying the cat came back, and then the Cats came back in the second half. Second straight week, Fred Penner sang in front of 30,000 plus. He did it at BC Place last week as well, which is pretty cool. So quite a night as the Bombers come away with a really big win. The score not indicative of the game that we saw, was it, Schnitzy?
No, it was a classic, buddy. And Chris Joyle keeps trying to get our attention here. He's got a ticket. I think he's got a hotel for the Labor Day Classic. He's wondering if he can just simply get a bus ride on the 1930 crew. I don't know if you can, Chris Joyle, but hit up 1930 crew and ask them. You never know. Maybe there's a spot left where you can just hop on the bus.
There's info in the video description below on the 1930 crew. You can find them on Twitter and Instagram at the 1930 crew, or you can email them. And that's what I suggest you do. The 1930 crew at gmail.com. And they'll help you out. There's Chris Joyle, who's feeling joyous tonight, as I'm sure many Bombers fans are, with a 26-23 win and the Bombers improving to 5-6 and right there, nipping at the heels. The Saskatchewan Roughriders with 2 games on tap with the green and white. It's going to be, I can't wait, Schnitzy. Let's go. Labor Day Classic and Banjo Bowl are next.
We are coming for first place. Watch the F out, Corey Mace. Sayonara, everybody.